Welcome back to Dad Deals. In this video, we're going to be doing a refresh/remodel to our kitchen. I wouldn't call it a full remodel. We're still going to be keeping the cabinets and most of our appliances, but we are going to be getting new quartz countertops, as well as an undermount sink, a new faucet, new hardware for our cabinets, new paint, while making a few other upgrades, like an accent wall with some shelves on the side of our refrigerator. So if you've been thinking about doing a similar upgrade to your kitchen, stay tuned to this video. I'll give you a full cost breakdown. Also let you know some of the challenges that we ran into, things I wish I knew before I started this project, and just give you a behind the scenes look at what this refresh renovation actually looked like. So before we get started, this whole renovation is going to be using products and services at Lowe's. They are the sponsor of this video. And just full disclosure, while they did fund this video, they really had a hands-off approach and just gave us full control to just use any products that they had, with really the only stipulation to just share our experience. So with that said, I do have a storefront page over at lowes.com where you'll be able to see every single thing that we used to complete this project, all in one space, one link, and you'll find that in the description below. You'll also see some stuff pop up in the YouTube shopping feature. And if you use those links, I do earn a small commission, but it's just a great way to support my channel. All right, with that out of the way, let's get started. So like I said at the start of the video, the main thing that we wanted to upgrade was our countertops. We still had the old laminate countertops from when we first moved in. And really why that fell on our priority list was we did like the design of the laminate countertops, this sort of marble pattern. So we really weren't going for a major change and we really didn't mind the way it looked, but we had definitely been wanting to upgrade it. Our kitchen had also been needing some touch-up paint. The walls were looking a little rough, especially where our dog's water and food dish were. Our cabinets were worn at the handles. And while we still liked the color of the cabinets, they needed some touch-up paint, and we wanted to install some matte black hardware. So as far as the countertops go, we decided to use Lowe's obviously to install these. And I've got to admit, over the hundreds, maybe thousands of times I've been in Lowe's, I really hadn't spent much time back in their kitchen design area and really didn't know what to expect going into it. But it was actually really nice. They have a ton of samples so you can see things in person. And the associates back there were awesome to work with. Shout out to Angela at the Chesapeake store. She really helped us schedule everything and get everything organized. But you can either do a full kitchen remodel, and they have design software right on their website that you can see here, or you can just order things like countertops, and that's what we did. Now we chose this ethereal haze quartz countertops. Like I said, we really wanted to keep that marbly sort of white countertop with black vein look. So we went with these, and these were also 35% off, which also influenced our decision. But once you choose your countertops, they will take you to an area where you'll put in your measurements and pick out things like your sinks, decide how many cutouts you'll need if you're going to do a soap dispenser, anything like that. Maybe you have a stove top that you need to consider as well. But after all that, you will pay a deposit, and then you will schedule a measure appointment. Now here's what those measurements look like after somebody came out and did all the measurements. You can see we have the island, you can see the cutout for the sink that we picked out. You're also going to choose the edging that you want on the countertop. We chose an eased edge. And the big thing to talk about during this step is any seams. So we really wanted no seams if possible. Seams are where the two pieces of countertop come together, and they are very noticeable if you have any seams. Now, after they came in measured, they did want to add a seam right here at this edge of the L. And we did kind of push back on that and just asked if there was any possibility to have no seam. And they said the only possibility is that it would be a large piece, so they would need to add another crew when they came in to install it. So they did charge us an extra $200 for that extra crew if we decided to go with no seam. And to us, that was worth it. So if they do put a seam into your project where you really don't want one, definitely ask if they can get another crew to make that install possible. But just keep in mind that you might be charged a little bit extra for that extra crew that needs to come out. But it is possible. One other thing is that we really didn't want to replace this backsplash if at all possible. And we were worried about the gap. So our laminate countertops were a lot thicker than the quartz countertops are going to be. So there was going to be about a 1/4 inch gap. So stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll let you know how we handled that. But just keep that in mind. There might be a gap. And I think if we were to do things differently, we would have just gone ahead and just planned on redoing the backsplash as well. Next up, while we waited for those countertops to come in, we went ahead and painted the entire kitchen. We used the HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint in semi-gloss, and we actually chose the Clary Sage paint at first, but we just found that it was too dark of a green. We really didn't like it. And so this was actually the first time that I tried out. I'd seen it in stores a lot, but Lowe's advertises a paint color guarantee. that if you don't like your color, you can bring it back within 30 days and they will replace it for free. So we tried that out and I was impressed with how easy it was. You just take it to customer service. Now the person at the counter did tell us that it needs to be at least half full for them to do the swap, but they were able to swap it and we went with this sea salt, which is just a much lighter green that we absolutely love. So don't be scared to try out a bold color. If you don't like it, they will exchange it and it's pretty painless. One other product that I'll shout out are these Cobalt small stackable totes. They were so handy when we were taking things out of the kitchen and needed to temporarily store them in our dining room and in our garage. They stack super nicely. They're nice and big and sturdy. So definitely shout out to these crates. I will be getting a lot of use out of these. We also found this Zep foaming wall cleaner helpful to get any of the grease and grime off of our walls and our cabinets before we painted them. And I tried out this DAP Fast Spackling. This stuff is crazy lightweight. When you pick it up off the shelf, you'll think it's empty. And it actually looks like marshmallow when you open it. But it was super easy to work with. It dries in 30 minutes, requires no sanding. And again, it's just super lightweight, so it makes it a lot easier to cover any nail holes or anything like that. So I'd say after about a week and a half to 2 weeks, the countertops came in. They were cut at the factory. They actually sent us an image so we could approve the design, do a final approval there. I believe you can actually go in person, but we were fine just approving it virtually. And the installation actually took a lot faster than what we thought. I'd say they were here for about 2 hours. They demoed our old countertops, installed the new ones. So I'd say the whole process from measurement to install was about 2 or 3 weeks. Now, if you're curious about that countertop install breakdown, the price breakdown, here it is. For us, the subtotal before any of the discounts was $7,662.79 for the countertops. Like I said, they were 30% off, so that took about $2,000 off. And they had an extra promotion going on where they had an additional 10% off that took it down an extra about $500. So the project total was about $5,163.17. You see this extra $219. That was the cost for the extra crew to come because we didn't want that seam. So the total cost for us for the countertops, completely installed and demoing the old ones, was $5,382.17. Now, along with that countertop install, we did want an undermount sink as well. And the installers will actually mount that sink for you. They'll custom cut the cutout for it. And we went with this Kraus Core workstation sink. Now, here is where our project almost was a disaster. We chose a sink with a right side drain, and we're really not even sure why we chose that. We just thought it looked neat and that everything would maybe flow to that one side and create some space under the countertops. But what we didn't take into consideration was where our actual drain pipe under the sink was located, and it was on the exact same side. So it made finding a garbage disposal challenging. And the first plumber that we had out that tried to install a garbage disposal, we had gotten a really large one. And they basically told us that it was going to be impossible to install almost any garbage disposal, which was a shock to us. Now, thankfully, we were able to find this InSinkErator Badger. This is sort of a smaller, stubbier version of a garbage disposal that did fit. But when you're picking out your sink, my big advice is definitely consider where that pipe exits your house and make sure there's going to be enough room if you do want one of those really large, fancy garbage disposals. So while it did work out for us, thankfully, this version of the garbage disposal exists. I think if we were going to do it again, we would have just picked a center drain sink and could have installed any garbage disposal in that. But this sink is an awesome sink. We love the workstation ability of it. It has this awesome magnetic drying rack that you can roll up out of the way when you're not using it. You can also put a cutting board in it, and it comes with all of these accessories. So it is a really nice sink. We also chose this Delta matte black kitchen faucet. This is the Alpen. I love Delta products. I've on a few occasions, long after I had lost the receipt, contacted them and they sent me a free part, free shipping, no questions asked. So I will almost always buy a Delta faucet. But this one also has their shield spray technology, which is just great for cleaning out cups and things. So definitely love this faucet. And then that 1/4 inch gap between the backsplash and the countertops, the way I was able to at least temporarily make that look finished is I found this plastic baseboard molding that is super lightweight. They come in very long strands and they're just $5 for 12 feet of it. But this stuff was really easy to tack up. And while I do think we will in the future replace our backsplash, we just weren't really ready to take that on yet. And this will buy us that time and make everything look finished. And was also super easy and super cheap to put up. So with that taken care of, the other project within a project that we wanted to do was just create an accent wall to maybe put up some cutting boards, also have a calendar, and just clean up this sort of mail junk station that we had accumulated over the years. So this is beside our refrigerator. It's a built-in refrigerator. So we have a nice sheet of plywood to screw anything into. And we were able to make these shelves just using common board, some 1x2s screwed into 1x4s, finished it off with some stain and hung them up pretty easily. And we love the look of it. We now can grab any of our cutting boards very easily. And we just think it looks a lot cleaner than that sort of mail station that we had earlier. One other nice refresh that we did was we did replace all the contact paper in our cabinets to give it a clean look and use some of these wire metal racks to organize. Since we had taken most of the stuff out of the cabinets during this project, it just felt right to reorganize everything, just kind of like we were moving in for the first time and just give everything a refresh. But that's it. That was our kitchen remodel, refresh, whatever you want to call it, project. Thank you so much to Lowe's for sponsoring this video. If you're thinking about taking on a project like this, again, check out that storefront page. I will post everything that we used in easily clickable links, and Lowe's has everything that you'll need to complete this project. As always, give the video a like if you find it helpful, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys next time on Dad Deals.